Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to unpack huge amounts of information and pull out those really essential insights for you.
That's right.
And today, well, we're diving into something pretty extraordinary. It's the compiled culinary wisdom of Chef Brian Thompson.
Yeah, this isn't just, your average cookbook.
No, definitely not. It's called his Chef's Guide to Quality Food. And get this, it's distilled from 25 years of professional cooking, all pulled together from 8 personal notebooks.
Incredible. And our mission really is to pull out the most important bits of knowledge, maybe some surprising facts from all that experience.
So you get a shortcut, right? Directly from a seasoned pro.
Exactly. Think of it like a blueprint.
Right.
Practical guidance, fascinating details, the real deal on culinary excellence.
Okay, so to really get this, we need to know the man behind the notebooks. Who is Brian Thompson? What shaped him?
Well, it starts very personally. His great-grandmother, Dessa Morgan, she lived to 105, by the way. Yeah. And she apparently made amazing cinnamon rolls. Her and his mother, Marilyn Thompson, they were his first inspirations. Lit that spark.
So early start.
Definitely. He was born August 16th, 1969. Fun fact, that was during Woodstock.
No kidding.
Yep, second day. Though he was on the West Coast, he actually started out studying business law, interestingly enough.
Huh. A bit of a detour then.
A major one. He switched to culinary arts, got his degree at LATTC Culinary Arts School, and then, importantly, apprenticed with certified master chef Andreas Kessler.
Okay, so serious training.
Oh yeah, top tier. From there, his career just took off. Fine dining up in Northern California, Albion River Inn, then bam, Las Vegas.
Ah, Vegas. I imagine that was a whole different world, especially his time as a private chef.
Huge chapter. He was the private chef for Mr. Las Vegas, Wayne Newton,
Wayne Newton.
the man himself. So he was catering to, quote, Vegas and Hollywood elite. Think about the pressure, the expectations.
Absolutely. It must have been intense.
No doubt. It really honed his skills. After Vegas, he came back to California, did some freelancing, worked as sous chef at Rolling Hills Country Club, a really prestigious place.
And he had some pretty high-profile gigs too, right?
He definitely did. One standout was cooking Thanksgiving dinner for Nancy Pelosi when she was Speaker of the House.
Wow. For the speaker.
For her and her family. He even mentioned she complimented his raspberry dark chocolate truffle cake.
Yeah.
And there were Secret Service trucks outside. 3 of them.
Okay, that adds a whole other layer of pressure.
You think? And all this experience led to him being named top personal chef caterer in Las Vegas back in 2011 by thmbtack.com.
So with all that background, that intense pressure, those high standards, what's his actual philosophy on recipes? Is he super strict, like follow it to the letter?
You'd think so, maybe, but no, not at all, actually.
Wow.
And this is really key to understanding his whole guide.
Okay.
He sees recipes as guides, not as a roadmap with exact measured steps. That's his quote.
Interesting. So more like suggestions.
Kind of. The goal for him is always the quality end product. And he argues that comes from really understanding what goes where, how, and why.
Ah, the why.
Exactly. Not just blindly following instructions. It's about intuition, deep understanding, which allows you to adapt and, truly master the craft.
That makes a lot of sense, understanding the why behind the what. Okay, so if that's the philosophy, where does he start with the practical stuff? The absolute basics. Safety must be huge.
It's foundational. He kicks off with general safety and sanitation. And he's very upfront, says a lot of it is almost plagiaristic from Wayne Gislin's professional cooking.
Which he calls his Bible, right?
His cooking Bible, yeah.
Yeah.
He deeply respects that source. For him, safety is about, precision in preventing problems.
So what are his golden rules?
Okay, first, always start with clean, wholesome foods.
Yeah.
Reputable sources, government-inspected meats, fish, poultry, organic farms if possible.
Makes sense. Source matters.
Critically. Then, handle food minimally. Use latex gloves, tongs, spatulas instead of your bare hands whenever you can.
Right. Less contact, less contamination.
Precisely. And his big mantra, start clean, stay clean, and then clean as you go.
The classic kitchen rule.
It is, but he emphasizes it constantly.
Yeah.
Hand washing, sanitizing surfaces, keep those refrigeration units spotless and at the right temperature, and wash everything. Raw fruits, vegetables, even if they're labeled certified organic, you just don't know where they've been.
Good point. Travel and handling.
Exactly. And here's a big one. The temperature danger zone. He says keep foods out of that 45 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit range, no more than an hour, max.
Okay, 45 to 140 for no more than an hour. Got it.
And defrosting. In the fridge or under cold running water, never on the counter.
Right.
Finally, cover, label, and date everything, especially if you're freezing it. He recommends butcher's paper. And he doesn't mince words about why this matters. Food sickness is never pretty, always violent, and leaves a bitter taste.
Ooh. Yeah, that puts it bluntly. Okay, so beyond just being clean, what about control? Tools, techniques for efficiency?
Portion control is huge for him, not just for the recipe, but for yield, managing costs. It all starts with measuring carefully. Cups, spoons, ladles, scoops, scales.
The basics, but done precisely.
Exactly. And understanding your equipment, especially in a pro kitchen. Scheme tables, mixers, ovens, fryers. Know how they work for safety, but also to get the most value. Make them last.
Right.
He even mentions standard pan sizes like hotel pans, full size, half size, different depths. Knowing these helps with planning and efficiency, whether you're cooking for 2 or 200.
Standardization. Makes sense. Right. And you mentioned something called ice wands. That caught my ear.
Yeah. He calls them a great invention.
Yeah.
Basically, long plastic tubes filled with frozen water. You stick them in hot liquids of soups or stocks to chill them down really fast.
Clever. Like a giant ice cube you can pull out.
Pretty much. For home cooks, he suggests a workaround. Clean, frozen 1-gallon water jugs. Though he notes they aren't NSF approved for pro kitchens, obviously.
Still a neat trick for home use.
Definitely. Then there's the label and date system. He calls it a necessary, very simply system of communication. It's about quality, freshness, but also accountability. Who made it, when.
Right, keeping track.
And for caterers, a great tip. Cater wrap, wrapping entire containers, lid and all, in plastic wrap for transport. Prevents spills, even if it gets tipped over.
Smart. Okay, so we're safe, we're efficient. Now we get to the flavor building blocks, stocks. He sees these as fundamental, right?
Absolutely bedrock. The stock, soups, and sauces chapter starts right there. Quality stock equals quality soups and sauces, period.
So how does he approach making them?
He lays out the basics for beef, chicken, fish fumet. The key difference he highlights is between brown and white stocks.
Brown and...
Yeah. For brown stocks, you brown the bones and the mirepoix, the carrots, celery, onions first. Roasting them adds that deep color and richer flavor.
Ah, okay. White stocks skip that step.
Exactly. He also stresses blanching the bones first for any stock, just briefly in boiling water, to get rid of impurities. Skim off any scum that rises to the top constantly, and simmer gently, slowly. Don't boil. Let it extract flavor gradually.
Patience is key then.
Very much so. Okay, so now you've got these amazing stocks. This is where, as you said, the magic starts. How do you turn them into those incredible sauces and soups?
Yeah, the transformation.
It really boils down to mastering thickening agents. He details quite a few. Flour-based ones first.
Yeah.
You've got roux.
The classic.
Right, but he breaks down white or raw roux, which is cooked just enough to get rid of the raw flour taste, keeps sauces light. Blonde roux, cooked a bit longer, gets a bit more color and nutty flavor.
Sure.
And brunette roux, cooked until it's brown, gives deep flavor, but actually has less thickening power.
Interesting. So color affects thickening too.
Yeah, the longer you cook the starch, the less it thickens, but the more flavor develops. It's all about those fat to starch to liquid ratios he mentions. Then there's slurry, or whitewash.
This is flour and water, right?
Flour dissolved in cold liquid, yeah. Good for quick adjustments. And beurre meunier, uncooked soft butter, kneaded with flour. You whisk little bits into a simmering sauce at the end.
Okay. What about non-flour thickeners?
Heat covering starches, like cornstarch. Very popular in Asian cooking, gives that glossy look, thickens quickly. Arrowroot is another often used in pastry, has a cleaner taste than cornstarch.
Right.
Then emulsifiers. Liaison is key here.
Yeah.
It's typically 3 parts heavy cream to 1 egg yolk. You temper it carefully into a sauce off the heat, and crucially, never let the sauce go above 180 Fahrenheit, or the eggs will curdle.
Delicate operation then.
Very.
Yeah.
And finally, maybe the purest way. Natural reduction, just simmering the liquid stock, sauce, whatever, letting the water evaporate to concentrate the flavor. That's how you get those intense glazes, like glace de viande, a super concentrated meat stock.
Incredible depth of flavor from just reduction. Okay, so armed with stocks and thickeners, he builds this whole world of sauces. Tell us about the mother sauces.
This is fantastic. He has a sauce construction chart. It shows how mastering just a few basic sauces lets you create endless variations. His point is, a couple little twists and adjustments will change the meal completely.
Like a family tree for sauces.
Exactly. He focuses on the 5 classic French mother sauces. First, bechamel. That's your basic white sauce. Milk, thickened with a white roux.
Mac and cheese sauce territory.
Definitely. Mornay sauce, which is bechamel with cheese, is perfect for that, but also things like garlic cream sauce or soubise, which adds onions. Super versatile.
Okay, number 1, bechamel. What's next?
Velouté. Similar, but uses white stock chicken, veal, or fish stock instead of milk, thickened with a blonde roux.
So stock-based white sauce.
All right. Derivatives include sauce supreme, which is enriched with cream, or Allemande sauce, which uses liaison. Even things like Hungarian paprika sauce can start here.
Got it. 2 down. What about the darker side?
That brings us to Espagnole, the classic brown sauce. This one's much more robust, complex, built on brown beef bones, roasted mirepoix, often tomato paste. Takes time.
The foundation for many steakhouse sauces.
Absolutely. Its most famous child is demi-glace. That's basically half Espagnole, half brown stock, reduced by half again. Incredible depth. Other sauces derived from it include marsala sauce or a green peppercorn cognac demi.
Okay, that sounds rich. What's number 4?
Tomato sauce. He covers a few variations. Marinara, which he notes is slow-cooked, influenced by a chef Caravaggio he knew. Pomodoro, which is simpler, fresher, focusing on sweet tomatoes, usually not thickened beyond the tomatoes themselves. And Bolognese, the hearty, meat-based version.
Right, classic Italian staples. And the last one, often seen as tricky.
Hollandaise. The butter-based emulsion sauce. Clarified butter slowly whisked into egg yolks, usually over a double boiler simmering water, not boiling. It's delicate, needs careful temperature control, and is best served immediately.
And its famous variations.
Béarnaise is the big one, which adds a reduction of vinegar, wine, shallots, and tarragon to the hollandaise base. He also covers beurre blanc, which isn't technically a derivative, but is related through emulsification. It's a reduction of white wine and shallots, then whisked with lots of cold butter off the heat. Tangy, delicate. Bière rouge is similar, but with red wine. And Beurre noisette is simply butter cooked until nutty and brown.
Wow. Okay, mastering those 5 really does open up a huge repertoire. How does he apply this kind of thinking to soups?
Very similarly, he notes how diverse soups are across cultures, how versatile they are. He breaks them down into a few main types.
Like clear versus thick.
Exactly. First, unthickened or clear soups. Think clear vegetable soup. The key here is starting with a really rich, flavorful broth. He points out their extreme versatility. Just add legumes, pasta, different veggies, and you've got a whole new soup.
Simple but effective.
Then, the thickened soups. Cream soups often use bechamel or velouté as the base. Thinned down with more broth, maybe a 3-to-1 ratio of soup base to broth. Classic cream of mushroom is a perfect example.
Right, using those mother sauces again.
Absolutely. Then you have puree soups. These get their body from starchy vegetables or legumes that are cooked until soft and then pureed. Think puree of split green pea or maybe lentil soup.
Okay, makes sense. Does he mention any personal favorites or specialties?
He does. Under specialty soups, which is kind of a catch-all, he includes his own signature soups. 2 standouts are his lobster bisque. He calls it a true piece of art, made using accumulated lobster shells for maximum flavor.
Waste not, want not, an amazing flavor.
Precisely. And Cioppino, the hearty Italian-American fisherman's stew. He says his version was inspired by his mother.
Nice personal touch there. Okay, so we've got safety, efficiency, stocks, sauces, soups. How does this all come together on the plate in his catering menus, for example?
Yeah, this is where you see the application. His signature catering menu section really showcases the range. It's not just entrees, it's the whole package.
So side dishes, too.
Oh, yeah. Accompaniment vegetables like vanilla honey butter carrots or an organic Asian stir-fry. Starch dishes like risotto al funghi, mushroom risotto, or his own potatoes au gratin de Brian.
Putting his name on it. Must be good.
You'd expect so. Pastas too. Lobster ravioli in saffron creme, penny Mediterranean. And then the entrees cover seafood, meat, poultry. Things like Moroccan roast salmon, the classic beef Wellington with that cognac glacé we talked about.
Using the demi-glaze base.
Exactly. Or crispy coconut chicken breast with a Thai pina sauce. It shows how those foundational techniques build into complete composed dishes.
Very impressive range. What about more casual stuff? Appetizers, tapas?
He's got that covered too. A whole section on menu board, tapas, and appetizers. Lots of variety. Warm and cool selections.
Like what?
Warm tapas examples are gambas al ajillo garlic shrimp or crab stuffed shrimp wrapped with bacon. For cool tapas, things like imported cheese platters or assorted marinated olives.
Sounds great for entertaining.
Totally. He gives specific recipes too, like a crab fondue, noting it uses a very thick seafood velouté as its base. See, back to the fundamentals. Or crispy fried ravioli di Romano. And lots of sauce accompaniments, roasted eggplant caponata, spicy garlic mojo sauce, harissa paste, little flavor bombs to go to the bites.
It really emphasizes how sauces tie everything together. Now, amidst all this high-end technique, there's a chapter that seems almost surprising, his love for the George Foreman grill.
Isn't that great? It shows his practical side, I think.
Mhm.
In the indoor grilling chapter, he calls it his lost love and an ideal cooking necessity for small spaces like dorm rooms or just simple kitchens. He even says it's a great panini press.
So he actually uses it for recipes in the guide.
He does. Erd salmon wrapped in bacon with ginger creme, a no-bread bacon-wrapped Angus burger. But what's fascinating is how he uses it. He mentions sometimes cold smoking items before putting them on the Foreman grill.
Wow, okay. So elevating a simple tool.
Exactly. It shows that technique and creativity matter more than fancy equipment sometimes. And he pairs these grilled items with versatile sauces, like his 3-tres aioli recipes, sweet basil pesto aioli, chipotle cilantro aioli, and sesame ginger aioli. Great for dipping or saucing.
That's actually really inspiring, using what you have but using it well. Okay, finally, let's touch on his big international signature dishes. Where does it all culminate?
This is where you see the most complex combinations pulling everything together. His international signature recipe section has some stunners.
Give us some examples.
For meat entrees, stuffed filet mignon with prosciutto and fontina cheese, finished with a Grand Marnier demi-glace. See that demi-glace again? Or an artichoke stuffed veal chop with a chanterelle champagne creme sauce.
Sounds incredible. Seafood.
Pan-seared salmon paired with a crispy crab cake and a coconut curry sauce. Or shrimp-crusted halibut with an orange tarragon beurre blanc. There's that delicate butter sauce. How about smoky chicken breast Santa Comes with chipotle cheese and black bean and green tomatillo salsa, lots of bold flavors.
Yeah.
And, he didn't just keep this knowledge in his notebooks. He shared it in industry publications, specifically the Las Vegas F&B Professional magazine. And he even adapted his skills for modern needs, starting a venture called Gourmet Fusion Foods, Inc.
Oh, yeah. What do they make?
Kosher vegan, gluten-free sliders. Things like quinoa, mushroom biryani sliders, brown rice and roasted onion, Cajun potato and leek. He specifically mentions they address several daily nutrition concerns.
Wow. So from high-end Vegas catering to vegan sliders, that's real adaptability.
It really shows a chef committed to quality food across the board for all kinds of needs and diets.
So wrapping this all up, what's the big takeaway here? We've gone from safety basics through mother sauces to these complex dishes. It feels like a whole education.
It really is. It shows that true culinary skill, that artistry. It's built on a foundation of rigorous knowledge, the safety, the techniques, the why behind it all. But it's combined with creativity and, as we just saw, a willingness to adapt and keep learning.
Yeah. It's that blend of discipline and creativity.
Absolutely. And Chef Thompson himself says it best, basically. There's always more to learn every day and around every corner. Recipes are guides, starting points for your own expression, your own palate. And ultimately, whether it's your staff at a pro kitchen or just you practicing at home, that dedication is your greatest resource for making people happy with your food. Great guest satisfaction.
That's a great way to put it. So thinking about Chef Thompson's own path from being a little kid on a stool in the kitchen to cooking for the Speaker of the House and his constant focus on understanding the what, where, how, and why, here's something for you, the listener, to chew on. What complex dish, or maybe even just a technique like making a proper sauce from scratch, might you feel a bit more ready to tackle now, knowing that if you build that solid foundation, a little bit of creative courage really can turn simple ingredients into something pretty special?